Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut.
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Mumphrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It. We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Mumphrey, and this is once again, We'll Fix It in Post. I'm here with my colleagues, Karsten Hyde Ferguson.
Yeah.
And Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
Today, we're out in the Atlanta area. We're talking to cinematographer, actress, director, fellow podcaster. Is there anything I'm missing? Because you do a lot.
I'm a published author.
Oh,
Jesus. Okay.
That's a lot.
Okay.
I don't sing, so
but who said you can't though? You do everything else.
Not me.
that's facts. That's facts.
But she goes by the name of Lacie Doll. How are you today?
I am lovely. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're making it.
Yeah, it's
It's too hot to be fall, but we're.
Wait a minute, it ain't that hot.
It's gonna be 90 this week.
Exactly.
It ain't gonna be 100
Sweater
though.
Yesterday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I got a
you won't be
sweater
doing
on
it
now.
this week.
No, probably not.
Well, maybe next week. But let's start this off with what got you interested in the world of filmmaking?
So I modeled professionally when I was in my early 20s. But I've always liked to write. I had a traumatic childhood, so like writing was my way of like escapism for me. When I got out of the military the first time, I went through a period of depression, and my partner at the time was like, well, web series are a thing right now. This is like way back in like 2014. She's like, why don't you write one? And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And she's like, don't worry, we'll figure it out. We'll go to YouTube University and we will figure it out.
We all have.
Yeah. And so I did. I reached out to a friend of mine that had like a really successful web series. And I was like, what kind of cameras should I use? I wrote a show and it did fairly well. And I was just kind of like, okay, this feels good. And I don't know, it's felt good since.
Now, what was this first project that you wrote?
Oh my God, how embarrassing. It's a web series called UNCLASSIFIED, the series. It just followed a group of friends based out of Key West, Florida.
Okay. So like the writing of it, how did what kind of videos you were looking at through YouTube, like kind of your process of writing? Okay, there we go.
Hey, I'm sorry, Lacie. Our program kicked us out.
Oh, okay. So I had to think of what kind of characters that I wanted to display, like what wasn't out there already. And at the time when I wrote this project, there weren't that many web series that I think maybe there were like 4 that people actually had watched. So I was like, okay, well, what type of stories aren't out there? And then from there, can you please go? From there, I was like, okay, now how many friends do I have that I gotta get involved in this? Because none of my friends were actors; they were all service members. So I was like, okay, who would be willing to do this? And I approached my friends, like, would you? And once I had like 6-7 friends, I was like, okay, now I can really like form these characters. And then from there, it was like, now how do I integrate all of them into one cohesive storyline? And I don't know, the story just came out. So I wrote the entire show in like 3 weeks.
How many episodes?
10.
10 episodes in 3 weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't know. I would be like at work in my office, not even working, not even seeing anybody. Just I would close my door, put my like busy sign on the outside of my door, and I would just write like for entire days. I was so zoned in. I can't write. I don't think I can write anything that fast right now. But
okay. Because I was going to ask some questions about that. Because
I sent it to my mentor, and he read it. He sent me some notes back, and then I sent it to some of my friends who are like avid readers, and I was like, okay, is this story like one that would keep you guys interested? And they sent their notes back, and then I let my potential cast read it, and they were like, okay, we like this. So the entire process, I think, took about a month and a half after sending it to everyone, giving them time to read it, giving them time to send their notes, and then making the adjustments. And I don't know, that was the writing process.
How many rewrites did you have to do? Or was this just kind of a one and done?
No, I did like maybe 3 or 4. 4, probably. It's been a while. I've read a lot of things since then, but I think I did 4. I did 4 rewrites because I sent it to so many people beforehand. I was nervous. I was terrified, actually. So I was just like, let me make sure this is good. Let me make sure people like this. So
was there a point to where, there was like a rewrite, and then you just stopped there and you were like, no, we're just going to go with this?
Yeah. So after I made the changes, I sent it back to all the same people. And I was like, okay, what do you guys think about this right now? And no one had any like major changes. Like no one was like, this doesn't work or this doesn't work. And once I got to like that point, I was just kind of like, okay, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Right.
Don't touch it. Just leave it where it is, girl. Don't freak yourself out. Don't touch it. Just send it to everybody and start planning some stuff. So, yeah.
Now, I kind of want to get to you as a writer because that's one thing I kind of struggle with and think V and VA don't really care to do too much writing.
Oh, I can write. It might take me forever to put it down.
It's going to take me a lot longer than forever.
Oh, okay.
So how do you kind of get yourself into zone for writing?
It just kind of depends. If I'm feeling a little froggy, I could jump. Like if I'm in my creative, like if I'm just feeling like a story is just like in me ready to come out, I could literally pull out my Word document on my phone or even sometimes my notes if I don't, and just start writing. But if I'm not feeling that creative, but I have like a deadline to meet, for me, it's a matter of carving out time. So it's like, dang, I really don't want to write today. Like I'm not feeling very creative. I'm not really feeling anything. I'm feeling kind of tired. My mind is overworked, that kind of thing. But you still have to write because you still have to, get something out. What I do, honestly, is have you guys seen those little, oh my God, this is, okay. So those little colorful lights, like on Instagram, it's like the little strobe lights. It's like.
Yeah. So
Yes, I literally like put that light, I literally would turn it on. I have it. I'll turn it on. I'll turn on the lights off in my house. So it's just like this like ambiance of like blue and red lights in the dark.
I'm picturing this. Go
I'll
on.
put on like slow jazz, but like at a low volume. If it's too high, I can't focus. It's like a low volume, and I'll pour myself a glass of wine and bring the bottle with me wherever I'm sitting. And then no, it's typically like on my couch. I like to write on my couch, and I'll get a blanket and I'll cuddle up on my couch and prop my laptop up. And for me, it just set the mood enough. So my mind is like, I'm able to like take my mind somewhere else. If I'm
put you in the vibe.
Creative. Yeah. So then I'll just be able to, if I've already started writing a project, I'll just go back, reread it, get myself like back in like that rhythm, and then continue on from there. And I typically would try to give myself like 4 hours. Like if you can make 4 hours, then you're good. You can stop.
So when you're writing, I know for me, whenever I write a script, I see it in my head, like word for word, everything else. Is that the same process for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I can't see it happening, like let's say, like sometimes when you're reading something or when you're listening to something or even watching something and some time has lapsed and then you're just like, wait, what did I just watch? Or like, what did I just read? Like, what was I even here? If I'm writing a story and I have like that moment, I will just delete everything, because if it wasn't memorable enough for me, it's not going to be memorable enough for the viewers or for whomever may be reading whatever it is. And I would just leave it. Like, I don't even need to go back to reread it to be like, oh, that was actually good. Nope, it wasn't good if I can't remember it. Okay. I don't know. It's so weird. And then I'll just start back from wherever I deleted from.
Huh.
Is that weird?
No. That's actually
it's not.
Really good practice. Now, because I've heard some people, they will write the ending of the story just because they need to know where to stop, and then they just write backwards. Is that something you do, or Do you just kind of write forward up to?
Yes and no. I also don't do very well with like outlines. My mind is like, if I write the ending of something, I'm constantly, yes, like that'll help you because it'll help you get to where you're going. But I don't know. I like for the story to just kind of like flow. So even if I have like an outline, that's not going to be what this is. I promise you. Like, it's just not going to be it. Like my mind, like I'll be writing something and I'm playing it in my head, you know? So it's like, I know that my outline said a person was supposed to die on this particular page, but like, I'm not ready to kill her yet. Like, I'm like, just going and she might not even die at all. Or, you know, like, I don't know. So sometimes for me, it's too much pressure to meet the end that I had in mind when I first started writing something versus just letting the story flow the way it's going to flow naturally and letting the end be whatever it becomes. So that's not a practice that I practice often. That is something that I've done before, once, maybe twice in the past, but I don't do that very often. It's too much pressure. I don't like that.
Let's say, which aspect of film do you like more? On front of the camera or behind the scenes?
Oh, is that a hard question?
Typically, it's not a hard question. Typically, it's not a hard question.
I'm an actress as well. So I do like acting. I like being in front of the camera, but I think, honestly, okay. If you can only do one thing. Right? You can only do one thing, Lacie. You cannot do more than one thing. Just one thing. What do you want to do? I think I would be perfectly fine with just being the person who wrote the story and not being on set at all, and then seeing how someone else brought that story to life. So I think the most rewarding part is writing.
I feel like you're not a person who can just do one thing, though.
No,
Multitask.
I get a little bit like, this is not how I saw it. But I think, writing for me, it's like I would be able to write projects and let someone else bring them to life and just see like how they were able to interpret my story. I think that would be really cool.
So you wouldn't be the writer on set, like, you know what I'm saying? That's not how I wrote that. You know, y'all need to redo that.
Hey, let me holler at you for a second, because that was not the page 26 that I wrote.
No, I mean, that's tough though. Like, because it's creative or whatever, you have like, for lack of a better term, it's your baby,
Right.
and then like to turn that over to somebody else and be like, hey, be gentle with my baby. It's like man, like,
So I come back here and smack your ass.
like, this little shaking the baby. He's shaking the baby. You ain't supposed to do that.
I mean, no, that says a lot, though. You know, that you can actually write something and just give it to a director and just say, hey, you put this into picture form. You know what I'm saying? However you put it in there. It's saying a lot.
But she's...
In my defense, there's a lot of pre-pro. So it's like, I'm not, I wouldn't just like write something and be like, there you go. Because ideally, we would have already talked about it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you would be the co-director.
Because she's also a director, so I'm starting to think this didn't work out.
No, I love directing. I really, really, really do. But if I had to choose one thing that I like the most, it really would just be writing the story. I would be okay with writing the story. I would also be okay with directing anything, but you asked me if that was the question.
So
Kevin, you asked the question.
They do real good with changing the narrative. I get that myself. So just keep that head on the swivel and you'll be straight.
At the end of the day, this is my fault. Is what I'm learning.
Right. For once.
Yep. Many times, more likely. But like, what got you started, like, as far as in directing?
So after I did my first web series, I moved to Atlanta. I was coming here often anyways for like events and stuff at the time. And I had a fan base here. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I need a new place anyways. I'm kind of transient by nature. So I was like, it's about that time for me to head out of Key West. And I moved to Atlanta. After living here for 6 months, I met my current spouse, and she also worked on the independent side, but she does a lot of like videography, right? Like she can write, but she's a video kind of girl, right? She likes video editing, that's her thing. That's not my thing. I don't like that. So it just made sense. But once we got together, it was just like a boom of like just everything kind of coming together. We were networking a lot. We were going out. We were having meetings with people, talking to people, because we wanted to film our own projects, but we also wanted to work for other people. We knew that we wanted to work in film full time. So the way that you do that the best is by collaborating with a bunch of other people, right?
Right.
Yeah.
After I think maybe 2 or 3 months, we had met this guy who operates, I guess, what would be like equivalent to like a gay male Netflix. And he was like, you know, I'm actually looking to bring more women onto my team. So he hired me to help him write a story. And then we ended up not even putting that story out. It's amazing though. It's really good, but it's just like, I think it's too early. Like we still haven't found like the time for it. But then from there he was like, okay, I want to turn you into like the best producer that you can be. And he used to teach film before he left teaching. So he was like, I want to turn you into the best producer that you can be. I want to be your mentor. And I was like, okay. So from there he was just like, let me take you under my wing and let me turn you into a strong director and a strong producer. And that was around 2019 or so. And then since then, I've just worked with so many other people. I like to learn from those who have been doing it longer than me or who have done it better than me. So I've just been directing so many projects, both that are ours and that are other people's for different networks and stuff like that, that I don't know, it's just a cool thing. And that's how I got into directing.
So you mentioned like before you went to Atlanta that you already had a fan base in this area. So, and I mean, we're all trying to gain a bit of a fan base ourselves. So how did you go about gaining a fan base?
I didn't. I wasn't prepared. No, it was, you know, because women are loyal. Right? So once you can cultivate a small female-based fan base, they're pretty loyal and they tend to support whatever you're doing, right? As long as it's like ethical or morally sound, because we will jump ship if it's not. Once I got so I went to school for public relations in the earlier 2000s. And so it was just kind of like, okay, wait, so I'm doing this now. Okay, let me do it serious, because I don't like to do anything like, can I cuss?
Yes.
Yes, please.
I don't like to do anything like half-assed. Like if I'm doing it, I'm doing it, right? So it was like, okay, it was fun putting out these web series when we were just doing it for fun or just as something to do, but we're trying to make this our career. So yes, I had started cultivating this fan base, but I wasn't initially trying. It just kind of happened. After that, it was like, okay, now we need to try. So the steps that we took were really just like kind of being everywhere. Like we were just kind of like, we need to be everywhere. Like we need to be photographed everywhere. We need to be everywhere. People need to know us, but not know our business. And that's initially how it was, right? So like everybody knew us. And then it was like, let's just take people on the journey with us. So we started a YouTube channel initially so that we could take people like on this journey of us doing what we're doing. Because not a lot of couples work in film together, at least like not in like the gay world. So we were like, or not back in 2018, 2019. So we were like, let's create a couples YouTube channel where we're taking people on these, you know, on these jobs and these projects with us as we're getting ready for events. Like, let's just like show them that part of the industry. And then we started to build a YouTube following. And then from there, it was like, okay, now we need to translate that to our social media. So like Instagram and Facebook. And I like to be interactive with my fans. So something that like I started doing was just like, I'll take polls. Like, what kind of stories do you guys want me to write? What do you guys want to see next? And I would let them vote. And then it was like, okay, people really want to see this type of story. Let me put my little thinking cap on so I can give people the kind of stories that they're wanting. And then it was, I don't know if you guys remember, but back in like 2020, when like Vine stars were still kind of active on Instagram, post Vine, but they're active on Instagram.
Right.
Yeah.
They started doing little interactive stories on Instagram. And that was like a popular thing for maybe 6 months. But I was like, boom, let's flip this. Let's start a production channel on Instagram, and then let's put out, in between projects, let's put out mini interactive series where it's, because IGTV was a thing when they were really pushing IGTV.
Yes.
So it was okay, well, if they're going to give us 3 to 5 minutes, let's do 3 to 5 minute episodes. And then at the end, we'll let our viewers choose what happens the next week.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was a struggle because we filmed everything before. So I had to write so many different stories, and then we had to film so many different stories. So there was never a delay, if that makes sense.
Right.
So the episodes were still able to come out every week. So we did those for a while, and then they did really well on Instagram. So we're like, well, let's just move them to YouTube because we need content anyways, and I like to monetize my life. So we moved the stories after Instagram. After our Instagram fans would vote, we would put the next episode on both YouTube and Instagram. But then we would tell our YouTube base, you have to follow us on Instagram so that you can vote. And back then, our Instagram was still private, so you had to follow us so that you could vote, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And then we put together like a promo team who were sharing all of our stories. So we have all these people sharing the stories, all the people like voting's still open, but you got to follow the page. So then that would bring our YouTube fan base to Instagram, and then that would keep our Instagram fan base engaged, which is what you want to do when you're trying to build a following, right? You want to keep them engaged.
Right.
And then from there, I still wanted to make sure that, because my spouse already had a following from like music and sports and like all this other stuff. So I'm still kind of building, I'm like trailing behind her. So from there, I still needed to make sure that like I was building myself as a serious writer and director, because a lot of times when you look like me, people don't take you serious that way. So I started doing like monthly stories on my Instagram stories, right? Because they started pushing IG stories. So I would let my fans, and I still do it today, not as often maybe today as I did back then, but I would let my Instagram followers write a story with me. So I would start a story, write a couple of paragraphs, and then I would be like, okay, so what do you guys think should happen next? And then I would take whatever they wrote, elaborate some more, on it, and then, so what do you guys think should happen next until we finish the story? And then that brought people in as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So for one,
that's a lot.
you're great at marketing.
So talk about being a female director and producer and writer. Do people take you serious?
I gotta push for it. I'm married to a woman, but she's a masculine presenting, so she's more equivalent to a man, right? So people will take her more serious. If she comes on set and she's stern or she's not having the best day, so she's kind of like short with people, they're like, oh my gosh, she must take this so serious. If I come on set that same way, it's like, oh my God, Lacey's such a bitch. Like, I don't even know. It's just like, first of all, y'all fight y'all. But so I have to be more cognizant of my approach, because if I turn people away from my attitude, from working with us, then that affects both of us. And it sucks. And, I come home and I can decompress and I can talk to her about it. But there's not really anything that she can do. There have been times, like I said, I work for like a gay male Netflix. So I deal with a lot of men, and I deal with a lot of men who don't deal with women at all. So I walk on set, and they're like, oh, it's pretty Lacie, da-da-da-da-da. And then once we're working, and I'm like, no, we got things to do. I got things to do, Guys have like gotten in my face. Guys have tried to fight me.
Oh man, how did that turn out?
The other guys fought him. Guys have like I've literally had to there was a time where I had to kick this guy off a set. He was just kind of belligerent, but he was getting in my face so aggressive. I literally had to go to an office, lock myself in one of the offices, and I called the executive producer, this is a big man, and I'm not about to fight with nobody. I'm not doing that, but he's getting in my face. Like the executive producer would have to drive to work, from wherever he was, or send his assistant, or sometimes I could say, okay, guys, we need to film this or we need to shoot this. And they'll be like, no. And then I would have to call. I've had to call the cook on set before, because he was a man, and be like, can you please tell these guys? And he would literally walk into the room and be like, all right, y'all, we got to do da-da-da. And that's not even his job. And they would listen to him. And it's just kind of like,
It is crazy. It is.
Yeah, but
you know.
that's
had-
like that's breaking hierarchy though.
No, because I've had to send Kevin in on several times because people wouldn't listen to me.
No, I get y'all, and you know, you told me those stories, but I'm like, I can't imagine being on a film set. You tell me what the hierarchy is. This person is obviously in charge, and then I'm gonna be like, I ain't gonna do what you say. I don't have to listen to you, even though everybody knows that you're in charge. That's stupid.
They don't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was producing this reality show for this network last year. Mama D was in. She's great. I love her. And it's like a dance competition show. She was a judge. And I had a seat next to the executive producer as he's looking at everything, you know, on the screens so that we could talk with each other. I didn't have a walkie on that day because we had too many people on set, but I was right beside him the entire day anyways. It didn't matter. Kid you not, Mama D's makeup artist, like, she comes out from the back of like the makeup area, and I had got up, I think, to get water, or I had to fix something or whatever. I had got up for a second, and when I came back, she was sitting in my seat next to the executive producer, and I was like, that's my seat. And she was like, nah, I'm comfortable.
Wow.
Yo, that's wild.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that is beyond like wild right there.
So what did you do?
I didn't do nothing. I looked at him and he was like, go ahead, get up so she could sit down. And then she got up so I could sit down. But it's like that. I mean, I look younger than I am. And
Black don't crack. Kevin just had a birthday. Happy birthday, old man.
Happy birthday.
Oh, fine. Thank you.
I expect that I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to be fighting the battle. And so for me, it's not about how aggressive I am or how I don't need to respond, you know, defensively, et cetera, et cetera. I could just take it to the person I'm supposed to take it to and let them handle it. And that's just, it just makes for a smoother day.
That's a sign of maturity too. Like a sign of maturity, and then realizing, hey, you know, no matter what the circumstance is, like we're gonna handle this the appropriate way. So that's professional on your part. So
I would have probably called y'all, but I don't know if y'all would have, you know, put hands on somebody.
It would really have to get bad for me to put hands on somebody. I mean, because I'm gonna use my words and all this, and they would really have to. It would, and then once I told the story, people like, oh, you should have been done. You should have been hit him or something like that. Yeah, so.
You should have hit him like 40 seconds within that story already.
yeah.
Like, I have patience, but Jesus.
Yeah, they would be like, where you at? Because I'm getting mad right now. I'm getting mad right now.
I got a little mad at some of her stories.
So, what was I going? That's a lot. What was I going to say?
No, you know, honestly, like, you brought that up, and like because I'm so cognizant or whatever. I've been on sets, and I'll be like, the director's busy. Let me give this to this person that's not as busy, and it's not as. I'm like, hey, I just noticed a continuity error, and I just want to make sure I gave it to you, you know, so you can
right.
And you know, say it discreetly, low, all that stuff, because it ain't everybody's business.
Yeah,
and they be like, oh, thank you. And then they go right to the director. And the director be like, why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, well, there's a chain of command. There's a hierarchy. You know, I'm not supposed to do that.
I mean, yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Be like, hey, bro. Hey.
But do you guys feel like the hierarchy kind of thing, like the chain of command thing, it used to be so like, no, you can't talk to this person directly. Now it's kind of like breaking like...
I think that's society though. In general, like a lot of people are like breaking down the things, but I'm like, especially film and certain stuff, we need to still have a certain amount of structure. Like it can't be so casual that I can be like get the executive producer on the line and be like, hey, I know you funded this film that we're not done yet. I need some money, bruh. I need some money. I'm like, yo, like that's not a good look. That's a terrible look.
I will call that. I will say I need some money.
Hopefully not during the production, right? Hopefully not during the production.
Yeah, no, I will literally pause production. I will literally, like, especially like on reality shows. Oh, you always need more money. Like okay, y'all, pause 1 second. Hold on, let me walk away. I need some money. Like, I don't know how you can get it to me, but I need some money. But
Okay,
right now,
so-
I'm gonna stop.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was always kind of given the inclination that kind of with the popularity of reality shows, part of it because they were cheaper to make.
It depends on the type that you're making. So I've done a plethora of different types of reality shows, and the ones that require the most money, or the ones that people think that they have a budget for, and then they realize, oh crap, I don't, are the dating shows.
Oh,
And the
really?
reason
Oh.
why is, yeah, because you got to go on dates and stuff. So here's the thing. So okay, something that I faced. I was filming a dating show out of Tampa, Destin, somewhere in South Florida last year, the year before last. I was the assistant producer, but the actual producer, she had already planned out pretty much all the dates. Problem was, so we got the green light for specific dates. We did everything we were supposed to do, but then the weather was bad. So then we had to rethink the dates that these guys had to go on. And then it was like your last minute calling other places. You're trying to see if you could film other places. Other places are like, oh, sure, but I need a deposit. Some places are like, yeah, you could film, but it won't be for free, like, et cetera, et cetera. So you think that you already have it planned out.
Right.
You're going to need some more money. You're going to need some more money. Or like reality shows keep their cast intoxicated. So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, we hide liquor around the house, right? So we literally, the little like bread warmer on the stove, like the very bottom shelf, we'll hide bottles down there. Like it'll just be nothing but bottles, but the cast never look there. So we know if we need to get them drunk, we could just grab a bottle real quick, while everyone's outside or something. We don't got to leave. So we were filming this reality show this reality show out of Miami a couple years ago. And I think the guys had figured it out that we were like hiding bottles around the house, like in these places that they weren't really supposed to be looking. And they drank all of the liquor, and we're at the crew house. So we didn't know, they were throwing actual parties like when we weren't there. Like they literally hitting people up. It was
Wow.
It was the worst show I had ever. It was a mess, but they drank all the liquor. So then we had to go back to the liquor store to restock because we still had like a week and a half or something left to film. And we're filming men, so it's not like you just have like a couple of bottles of wine. No, you have to have real liquor.
You gotta have brown.
No, just take the food away. Just take the food away.
They really gonna be thrown off here. What you mean?
Take the food away or whatever.
They don't care.
If somebody's flying in, but like let's say that the airport loses their luggage, you're probably going to have to now go get them clothes because they're going to need clothes to film, right? So you have to budget for the things that you don't think that you have to budget for. And a lot of time people don't. So yeah, I'm quick to call and be like, I need some money.
No, but you know what? That's different. That's different. I was talking about like if you call and like be like, hey, I need some money for this other project, even though we're not done with this current project. So that is definitely different. And I wouldn't look down on that.
You got me really rethinking how The Bachelor works. Suddenly they're just like, we're going to Rome. Like, and then you got to call and be like, yo, we got Brooklyn money. Like,
Yeah.
who told you?
If you watch like Atlanta Housewives, I think that they do this like the most, where these girls will be trying to plan these elaborate trips, but then they end up taking a bus to Savannah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Wasn't in the budget.
They gonna get on the bus and go right down the street.
I was just imagining the crew like, where the hell y'all think y'all going?
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, that bus trip ain't pleasant. So they probably do have to be inebriated. I tell you what, that bus terminal will be exciting though. Like you could do a reality TV show on just a bus terminal. Just set up some cameras.
That's
With a lot of liquor on there though.
Hey, I don't think you need liquor.
Not
Bus terminal.
You just set the camera up.
Yeah, just set the camera up. Like, hey, actually, as a matter of fact, just put like security cameras up and put like a little overlay, and it'll be like bait car. It'll look like bait car.
So, man, you have really got me. You really destroyed it. I'm sorry. So when people say stuff to me, I picture it in my head. I don't like what I'm seeing right now. So
Of what?
a reality show, bus terminal, just Nashville alone. It could be a nightmare.
Like,
Oh, my goodness.
Look, I decided I was gonna be inexpensive. I'm not gonna say cheap. I decided I was gonna be inexpensive, and like I knew I had to come back here like from Texas, and I was like, well, I'll get a bus That way I don't have to drive my car twice.
Oh, you get a bus.
And I was like, man, I took the Greyhound from Abilene, Texas to Nashville, Tennessee. Greyhound. And oh my goodness. And on the way back, this dude was talking to the bus driver because the bus driver, I guess, copped the attitude with the dude.
Yeah, of course.
My man said, hey, you want to come out here and get this Mike Tyson? And then my man chased the bus driver around the bus terminal. He chased him. And the dude
on
was
your
like,
trip?
Like, no, like, yes. It was a bus driver for me to go back home.
Out and like picture or film it or nothing?
I don't know why I did.
That is a skit.
I was like, I was in awe of the situation.
That's our next Nashville film right there.
And, you know, and this is before like this is before like everybody started like yelling World Star like crazy. But I'm like the fact that I didn't pull out my phone, the fact that I didn't pull out my phone, I was just like, wow. I was like, I didn't pull out.
To how old are you?
What? Man, hey, chill out with that, man. Chill out with that.
You talked about before World Star. How old are you?
Well, I said before. I said before everybody started yelling World Star. Before everybody started yelling World Star.
Wait, hold on. What? Anyways, because that ain't make you telling your age.
No, because you know, like when the incidents happen, people be like, "World Star, World Star."
That was a long time ago.
I was like, "Hey, look."
You telling your age, and you telling on yourself. We didn't. Well, Kevin asked you that question.
No, she asked. I just reiterated the question.
hey, look. What VA said before, black don't crack. So I'll just leave it there. I'll leave it there.
We all don't look our age, so that's what I'm saying.
I for damn sure don't.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I'm 39, and everybody been staring at me all week. So
it's okay, Kevin.
Oh no, I'm totally fine with it. Oh yeah, because every time I tell them the age, I go, "Yeah, I'm 39." You're about to be 40? Yes, I'm about to be 40 in a year.
It's a different 40. It's a different 40.
It's a fine wine 40.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I mean, you only like a week older than me, so what's up?
So you're about to be 40?
No. I don't even know how to react to that. Now I'm about to be 39. I'm about to be 39.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. In a year I'll be 40. A year from
she just threw that 40 right at you.
Yeah, she hit me in the face with it. She's like, Charlie Murphy.
You know what? Today, 40-year-olds don't even look 30. But but I'm confused. Because in the 70s and the 80s, 25-year-olds look 60. So I'm trying to figure out at what point did black stop cracking? Because they look old.
I don't know.
It's some in the water.
Some in the water,
some, especially in the Memphis water. You know,
it's not Jackson water.
Kevin and myself grew up on Memphis water, so it's something.
I love Memphis.
You love Memphis?
That's the first I've heard that in a while.
No,
wait.
to U of M.
You went to U of M?
I couldn't afford that
Yeah, when I
place.
was getting my public relations degree.
So how many years did you spend in Memphis? Like the whole 4, 5?
No, I was already a transfer student.
Oh, man.
I liked it. I didn't hate
You got your degree in dipped is what I'm hearing.
No, well, I was engaged, so my partner went somewhere else, so I followed. But I would have stayed in Memphis. I really liked it. I didn't.
That is the first time that I have ever heard somebody say that they like, and we in Nashville.
Is your partner from Memphis?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Oh,
so I don't know. I think that they get a lot of flack because crime in First 48 and stuff like that. But the city itself, like, is lovely.
I will say Memphis is very talented. Bunch of talent.
You can take that however you want it. I don't.
Very
really,
talented. As far as anything,
that can be taken all kinds of ways.
Kevin, why did you? I am trying to talk about talent.
She thought the same thing. Thought the same thing.
Look. This y'all talking about y'all city,
and we're not in our city. So what does that tell you?
And there's some really, really, really fine police officers. I don't know.
I ain't never heard nobody talk about fine police officers in the city of Memphis, Tennessee.
I don't think I have neither.
Some of the girls who wearing them uniforms the right way. Like, I don't know what y'all saw, but I saw it.
I just saw them with guns, and I just mind my business.
Everybody in Memphis got a gun. Everybody.
I know. That's why I did a lot of minding my own business.
Everybody.
A lot of it.
I just realized a family member. I ain't gonna say who it is. I just realized a family member carries a gun, and I said, "Where you get a gun from?" And I was like, "Oh, my dad taught me how to shoot." I'm like, "Okay, I got you."
I mean, it's a constitutional carry. It's a constitutional carry state. So
I know now.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to you, Lacie. Let's talk about that Memphis just threw me off. I ain't never heard somebody say that like Memphis. That's crazy to me, man.
I enjoyed it.
VA is like, oh, Memphis is very lovely. What?
It is sad that was our reaction.
That was my experience. It was to me.
I'm not gonna lie, you fucked me up with that too.
So I have to ask you: Did you live on campus or did you live off of campus?
I lived off campus. I went to U of M when I got out of the military the first time. So did you live far from the campus or did you live like close to the campus? No, it's really expensive, that area that the campus is in. So
yes.
I definitely didn't live there. I lived up north near Cordova, but I don't remember.
Oh, that's why you like Memphis.
I was like, when she said north, I was thinking Orange Mound.
Hey,
I was gonna say, she's been in the city.
That's why you like Memphis.
Really quick question. What branch?
The Navy.
Okay. Air Force.
Yeah, I worked in law in the Navy.
Okay. All right. So JAG, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the subject of military, like what did you take from your time in the military that you kind of use for filmmaking?
Hurry up and wait.
Okay. I wanted to make sure. Okay, so when you enter the military, typically you enter from your teens, and you're thrown into a high stress job with a lot of other teens, some of which who have never even left their small communities. So you really have to learn how to work with other people. You really have to also learn that just because someone is a specific way doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you need to have an attitude with them or try to fight them. Because when you're in the military and you're working beside a person that you know, hands down, is a racist, right? You still have to protect that person and expect that that person will protect you as well. You come into the civilian world and it's like, a person wants to quit their job because they don't like their coworker, or they don't want to go to a specific party, or I can't go to this event because that person is there. It's so childish to me that that's the mindset that so many people have. Or I can't get this job done because this person might be that way. And you're offended. You're offended by their actual real personality because you don't like it. To me, that's so weird. Like, I take people for who and how they are, not the expectation that I have that they should be something different. And I also... my level of patience is just pretty extended, you know what I mean? And I definitely took that from having been in the military and having such a high stress job and working with the kind of people that tend to join the military.
Patience is key.
Yeah.
So it makes dealing with actors a lot more manageable.
Have you ever had like a difficult actor that just was like horrible? You don't have to say their name, but
yeah.
But if you do say their name.
No, I won't. But I cast a YouTuber who was a pretty big name YouTuber for a movie a couple years ago. She was like, hey, I really want to get into acting. What you got for me? And I was like, actually, I want to write a scary story. So you want to be like in that kind of story? And I wrote her character as herself. And she read the script. We did so many table reads. She was one of the first people who actually read the script. But people think that they look at the end product and they think that acting is easy or like film is easy, but it takes a lot. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. You got to stay ready. It's not fun and games when I'm investing my freaking money.
Man, what? Say that
she
again.
Said that with bass.
Say it again.
Wannabe influencers. Those are the worst people to work with because they want the fame that comes with doing whatever this is, but they don't know how to put in the actual work for it.
They don't want to learn.
That too.
And they don't. Yeah, so those are always the worst people, honestly, that I've ever.
People don't get it, man.
She mentally went back there too for a second. I saw the annoyance in your eyes.
I feel it.
When she touched,
She made me so mad.
When she touched your temple.
Oh yeah.
When she touched your temple with both fingers.
You took us all back there with you.
Man,
I didn't even know who the person is, and I was somewhere to know it.
Oh my! People don't get it though, especially if you're a producer. because you know we play all these hats, put all these hats on: director, producer, cinematographer, whatever. But they don't get it when you're spending your money. When I'm taking money out of my pocket to make this film work, and they're wasting your time. Like that is
you're renting space,
right? Renting
have
space.
People who have like, bro, my God, like just oh my God.
Hell yeah, she went right back there.
It was just I fired everybody on that. I'm not lying. It was the last day of the and I said, I don't even care at this point. All y'all could go. I'm done. I fired everybody.
Oh my goodness.
She said, everybody get the fuck out.
It's true. I'm not kidding. I really did. I was done.
Did you walk on set and it was like everybody get out? Or did
I walked off set.
Oh.
And for me to walk off my own set, it took a lot. And I couldn't make myself walk back on set for a good while. I think like I had to muster up the energy. And then by the time I came back inside, I was just kind of like,
you're all dead to me.
You guys don't deserve this opportunity. So I'm good. And they were so mad. And they were like, you're so smug about it. Because I'm done. Yeah, like, so they were like trying to talk to me. Don't talk to me. I'm done. I'm good. Everybody go to sleep. I don't care. Wake up. Get the out tomorrow. And that's what happened. And my
I
wife
feel
was
it.
like, okay.
Oh,
She was like,
I so
"Lacie,
feel this.
So we had to rent all this stuff. It was literally the last day. And she was like,
oh, it was the last day.
It was the last day. I said, no, they're fired. I don't care. They're fired. This is a loss. Chuck it as a loss. Give them their little paychecks. Let them leave. I don't care. I'm done. I'm done. And then a year later, we recast it and we refilmed the movie. But
that's what you got to do.
Oh,
fire everybody and recast.
That's the most boss thing I've heard anyone say on this podcast. I fired everybody.
Everybody.
Because I'm imagining her going, I don't need any of you here anymore. None of you.
I did. There was a girl who had to do like the light flickering. She got fired. Everybody got fired.
Oh my goodness!
The guy with the broom, you can go.
She didn't even give the one person like just doing the job well. She didn't even give them a chance.
Nah.
She's like
nobody was doing a good job.
Nobody.
Hey, is there any behind the scene footage of you just coming up and being like?
There's a lot. So we had somebody on set doing behind the scenes because we have put so much into this movie and so much into promo. We're using like YouTubers and people with big names, whatever. So yeah, there's a girl who literally has the footage of when I fired everybody. And my recollection was different. Like I was like, I didn't yell at anyone. And I was like, I did, me? And she was like, I got the footage. So everybody came over one day because they were upset. They were like, you yelled at me. And I was like, and you did, like, oh my God. So she was like, I got the footage. And so she plays the footage and literally she just pushes play. And it's just like me going off on everybody. And I'm like, oh, well, my bad, but y'all still fired.
my bad, but y'all, actually, no. That is the most boss thing I've heard anyone say on this podcast.
Yeah, my bad, but
my bad.
Yeah, y'all fired
You're still
anyway.
fired.
Yeah, like I never heard that combination of words again.
It sounds amazing. You should make that a T-shirt.
Yeah, my bad. You're still fired.
Or no, or just use to. I'm pretty sure you have it on your YouTube because that's amazing footage to have. Just to let you know what I'm capable of.
No,
I may sound sweet, but I'm not.
Those are the worst people to work with. If I meet people now, like YouTubers or like I guess TikTokers, and they be like, "Oh, I want to do," it's gonna be a no for me. I'm sorry. It's like after you've worked with other people, then we can have this conversation. But I will never be the person ever again in my life. I will never be the person to give an influencer their first opportunity. I can't and I won't because they're not serious.
They couldn't be a lead for me, especially if they didn't take any acting classes or like take any efforts to do anything. Because I'm like, I don't know.
Oh my goodness!
I'm just imagining her looking at resumes and one says influence. Oh, no, not
burn
again.
it.
I do.
Not again.
It's a strict. I have a zero tolerance policy. Like, it's gonna be a no.
The word influencer should not be written anywhere on there.
No, it's YouTubers, influencers, TikTokers, like those kind of people. Because I feel like they want to get into acting because, like, the just so that they could say that they did it. So just so that they could have some other footage or, you know, some other video or some other
content,
you know.
Right.
And it's just, for me, that's cool. Do you? But just I would never be the person to get.
Not even as an extra.
No. Because they'd be late. Because they'd be late. And that was when I tell you, all these people got fired. This girl had one job. Her job was to pull up. She was the person who didn't show up to the trip, so she survived. Right? That was her role. 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the movie. Was she there? No. Like, and then she hit me back with the, well, maybe we could film my scene on a different day. I'll kill you. Like,
So what you're saying is she didn't survive.
No one. She literally did a Jason slaughtered. Slaughtered the whole cast.
Said this is a different type of horror film.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh wait, this film was a horror film?
Yeah. Did you get that the first time?
I'm so past that point.
it was a horror film, man.
Oh god.
Slasher.
Oh, your worst experience was a horror film.
No, that's facts. I fired everybody. Nobody survived that purge. I think we kept
The purge.
we kept 2 of the actors. That was it.
And I don't think you're sure about that because
You
you're
had
still
to
thinking
think. You had to think on that.
They came to me afterwards and they were just like, "Don't we really want this?" Da, 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 da. And I was just like, "Y'all gonna have to do better." Like, so we kept 2.
Be like,
I feel it.
be like, okay, you can play the janitor.
when I say pull up, you better pull up.
I don't like working with influencers.
I feel that. I feel that.
I think we've all learned something.
That's worse than my experience on my latest film.
That is.
So you
She definitely
just
beat
topped
you.
that. Yeah, she beat me. You topped that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I'll use an influencer for anything.
They have weird expectations too. Like, who am I? You think I'm Disney? Like what's wrong with you people? Oh God.
So ironically, that was going to be my next question.
What about Disney?
No, just people asking for more than the set requires, or
What you mean?
Asking, having a bigger picture than like, oh, we want these grand explosions or this massive fight scene. Like, dude, let's smack them and get
not
out
in
of
the
here.
budget.
Yeah. A lot of not in the budget stuff that's being asked for.
I was just recently, and this wasn't my project. It was a project that I was in. I was casted as an actress, but I was recently in LA for a month of August filming this movie, and the main star she's a famous TikToker, right? And she had done like acting classes and stuff like that, so she her acting was good, but she'd never been in anything before. So it's a small budget. The problem was the executive producer. She pitched this like as if she was going to have a huge budget, I think, to entice people. And so everyone believed her, right? So some of us, we flew there. I took a little road trip. I drove, but I'm from Southern California. So I wanted to have access to my car so I could see my family. But the main star, who's a TikToker, she wanted to be flown first class, only Delta. If not Delta, then American Airlines. If not Delta or American Airlines, she wasn't going to fly in on a particular day. Don't get her Spirit or JetBlue. The girl ended up flying Spirit. Anyway, then she wanted her own hotel, like a full suite.
A full suite.
Yes. And then we were supposed to, so everybody, we were staying in hotels, and then we were supposed to move into like a larger house a few days after that. She wanted a rental. No, she didn't want a rental. She wanted a personal car, like a driver, like somebody who's going to drive her around everywhere that she needed to go for the entire month that we were going to be there.
She Beyonce, ain't
yeah, so
No, she ain't.
No,
she also expected that they were going to be providing her wardrobe. So she literally brought no clothes for this movie, none. She brought a little tiny suitcase with her for a month in LA, and was like, well, if I was on a bigger budget, then they would provide my entire wardrobe. Why should I be providing my own wardrobe? I'm not good at it. Like, it was just crazy. Like, it's not. I understand she thought that because the executive producer reached out to her personally and was like, I really want you in this, and I'm gonna make this worth your while, and I'm gonna da 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 da. But the reality, you know, and I was trying to explain to her, like, and she was upset. Like, she was angry, cussing out the executive producer, calling her out of her name, screaming at this woman on the phone. Like, it was crazy. And I was telling her, like, I can understand your frustration, but you also have to be realistic. This woman, yes, she got a distribution deal. They gave her a little budget, but it's a little budget that has to go into everything. Yeah. Renting out locations, audio, camera. Those things are more important than making sure you have full wardrobe. Yeah. Like what?
In a suite.
Right.
It was
in a suite.
A lot.
And a car.
She raised hell. And then she was like, what is she gonna do? Fire me? I'm the star. Well, she fired her.
Look, I was about to say, fired. You would have done it.
Facts. I would have never casted her because no, she's a TikToker. She don't know.
Lesson learned of today.
If you have
TikTok, none of that. Social media influencer of anything.
No, I could do it as long as they ain't the star.
He says that now.
Straight up with it now.
No, I'll be like, because I'm gonna let you know what the deal is. I'm like, you gonna be out of here. You gonna be out of here. Hey, we gonna get you that Greyhound.
The Greyhound.
We gonna get you out of here.
As long as you're straight up, you should be good. But a lot of times people feel like they have to say so much just to get them in their projects and stuff like that they just, and then their ego's already inflated because they're famous, you know, and that's just like, you're poor. Like, shut up.
Oh, God.
I know how much you're getting paid. Shut up.
Yeah.
You do not make what your follower count says. Let's chill.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I feel like you're a wealth of stories.
I didn't think we were gonna get all this.
I didn't either. I was.
But I'm so glad. From Memphis to firing people on set. I think you got that from Memphis. I think they came out of here from Memphis. I think that's where that firing on set came out. That Memphis. How many every years you?
She played some Dolph and said, "Let's go."
Wow. Some Dolph money bag. Who 3-6?
This ends today.
It's true.
But we definitely learned that.
Oh my goodness!
Shit. Do not let the smile fool you. We should call you Machine Gun Lacie. Machine Gun.
What?
Machine Gun Lacie. Just everybody goes.
Okay, Memphis.
You got the firing gun.
I thought you were meaning as the rapper. I'm like, why would you do that?
No, not rapper. But I mean, you do everything else. Can you rap?
No.
You probably could. I'm trying to tell you, everybody who has been in Memphis claim they a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Kevin could probably rap.
I mean,
I used to rap when I was a teenager.
See, you hear that?
Yo, but that like just being a rapper is not a big thing now. That's not like a high achievement anymore.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm gonna put out an album. No, a song. I'm gonna put out a song singing, rapping my ABCs behind a beat, a trap beat, and then it's gonna go viral. I'm trying to tell you. And the only thing I'm be doing is rapping my ABCs. That's it.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Right now, did you guys see the video of there's a Caucasian girl, she's going viral right now.
Oh, yes. That one that was in Atlanta?
Yeah.
She had Big Boy on the mural. She had the mural behind her with Big Boy.
Period.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna do the whole thing.
What?
I ain't gonna do it. Kevin ain't seen it yet. Kevin, and the thing is, like, all these people are making remixes of it. So they right beside them, and then she starts off, and then once she has this long pause, they do their rap in between. Mm-hmm. What's the
Jesus?
What's the twins?
Twins.
They're not twins.
Chloe.
Yes. Chloe just did one. I reposted it this morning because I saw it this morning.
I'm afraid to look this up now. I thought y'all talking about
like all the rap girls.
The girl who's like, I thought I was feeling you. Oh, and I'm not gonna say the rest because
not that one.
No, not that one. This is totally different.
She was even telling people that most people in Atlanta ain't from Atlanta.
Who are you talking about?
That same one. She had like a line in there where she made a mention of that because she had the braids, right?
No. We're talking about the wrong person.
No, that's a different girl.
That's a different girl.
Okay, all right. All right, my bad. I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all the stuff that's coming out here.
No, I'll show it to you guys.
Okay,
before.
all right.
We can't play it on here because we're not paying anybody.
Yeah, definitely not. No, yeah.
I don't.
So, Kevin, don't look that up. If it starts playing while that microphone is on.
No. I just wanted a visual.
No, he was about to get in that money bag, yo. Because he get your car and get it and it get repossessed.
I made a mistake.
He didn't that's her car. She said he didn't take it.
You didn't what?
Oh, my bad.
Don't come at Ari like that.
Oh, my bad.
But
I didn't say it. Kirsten said it.
As we wrap this up, I'm going. So, God, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. To wrap this up, so we tend to like to do this thing with people as kind of put themselves in the mind frame of them winning an Oscar. You've done a project, it has been nominated for. I know. It's been, you win an Oscar for this project, and you're giving your Oscar speech. What is your Oscar speech?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I would be too shocked. Honestly, I don't know. I think I would just thank everybody who supported me and thank my family for having always invested in me. And I would thank my very first fiance who said, we're going to make a web series so that you can be okay. She don't talk to me now, but I would thank her. Because without her, I would have never, ever had the courage to do this kind of thing. So I would definitely want to thank her. I don't know. I think I would just thank everybody.
So quick.
It sounds like you'll stunt on your ex at the Oscars. I like that.
I would humbly thank her because honestly, had she never said, I want you to be okay, try this method, write something, and I'm going to help you put it out. She bought me my first camera, and she learned editing so that she can edit a project for me. I would genuinely thank her because I wouldn't be here today, and I would have never, ever got to a place where I could win an Oscar had I never dated her, and she never was that person for me.
That's what's up. So what are you coming out with next? What's new? What are we going to expect?
So I have a book out. It's in Nelson Mandela University. The students use it to write their thesis, but they're waiting for my second book. So I'm still writing my second book. Ideally, it'll come out at some point. I'm also getting into the audiobook space because I listen to audiobooks every single day, but there are none for us by us. So I'm getting into the audiobook space because I want to create a lane for lesbians or women like me to have stories for us, and obviously film school. Once I get my life together post my divorce, I'll get back into filming, but right now I'm not working on filming anything because I need to just center my mind, my heart, my soul, my spirit. Something else, but I don't remember.
That's a lot.
Always a lot. Now, you said you was in film school. You've already done. Episode. Yeah, I'm about to, but I just find this interesting. You've done all these projects already, so why go to film school?
So I've been working with my spouse. I think we've been working together for about 4 years now, and there are just things that I don't do anymore. Like when I first started, I was doing, but I just don't do anymore. She does them, and we respect each other's lanes. That's how we can work cohesively. You do yourself a disservice, though, when you stop learning. And for me, I didn't anticipate getting divorced, so I didn't anticipate our company having to split. I'm also realizing that there's just a lot that I stopped learning and a lot that I stopped doing, and I want to get back into doing it so that I never have to depend on having a partner to do those things. And I just thought to myself, well, you know what? I still have my GI Bill, so the military will pay for it. I might as well go to film school, educate myself, and then also make that network of other film students, because this is what I want to do with my life. And I don't want to just, stay in the independent realm and keep, taking shots in the dark. That's not going to really help me elevate the way that I want to. So that's why.
Right.
Oh, right. I'm
that's what's
forever
up.
the learner.
Yeah.
When you hear on TMZ when she's on that big set and she's firing big time actors, they should have listened to this podcast first so they know what she's capable of. She has no problem
firing everybody.
You guys act like you never fired anybody before.
No, not like that.
Not like that.
Not like
that.
You emptied the clip.
Now I've stepped on set and probably got angry or something like that, but somebody else would see that I'm getting intense and they would step in, but I've never fired anybody.
Not anymore. I think we're just gonna let that happen.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
You've never fired anybody.
No.
None of you guys have ever fired anybody.
I have, but I was
okay. I'll take that back. I don't know what it's called. It might not be called firing, but I've let people go. But it's kind of like I would ghost them. Like
that's kind of more of what I did.
I was like, well,
that can't be worse.
Well, I have let go of clients because they weren't doing like what they were supposed to be doing. I've done that. When I was in the military, I got people out of positions. That's not necessarily
what branch?
Air Force.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, like, that's like the second time. That's the second time she did that to me. She did that to me twice. I was like, oh man, hold on. All right. Go.
So, yeah, we definitely
goodness.
We definitely shit in this now.
Wait,
Lacie,
you gonna end it like that?
yes.
That's it. Oh my goodness, Kevin! Don't do him like that.
No, do me like that. Whatever. No. See what you do? You just glance past it. Look, now we holding it here. Now it's extra awkward. Now it's extra awkward.
I was gonna say something else to try to get it away from me.
I was just going to quickly end it.
No, but you were quick.
Make it a quick shot.
Look.
That was the last thing that people were gonna hear. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm good with that. And it's like instead of now, the last thing we're gonna hear is VA be like, oh. We good though.
I don't forget now. Just end it.
So,
Lacie, we want to thank you for coming on here and telling your story and all the other good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You've given us plenty.
You've given us a lot. You know what I'm saying?
We have laughed and learned.
We're a good crew. So if you ever, when you start back filming, and if you ever come to Nashville, you won't have to fire us. I'm just letting you know that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm politely scared of you.
I'm gonna use my chain. I'm gonna use my chain of command. I just want you to know that I'm gonna be very, very polite. And I'm gonna use my chain of command.
We'll show up on time. Even Kevin will. Kevin will show up on time. I'm trying to tell you.
And on that note,
I listened to your guys' episodes and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be great." And you guys did not disappoint. You guys are
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Now
so
that's
much.
how we're going to end it.
That's how we.
No, that's what's up right there. I appreciate that.
Thank you once
I love
again.
that you guys are doing this.
Thank you. And that is a wrap.